Women's suffrage is common today, even though some countries don't have it. In Saudi Arabia, women don't have the right to vote and don't have the right to drive. In 2011, Princess Emaria Al-Tawil stated, "No matter how many great things we do, we'll always be judged as a country that suppresses women because we're the only country in the world where women can't drive." There are countries today that are still fighting for their suffrage. In some places of Africa, some women don't have the right to go to school and get an education because of many various reasons, such as health issues. Women should be equally treated just like men. You have the freedom to vote and run for office, so let's help them fight for their freedom. The women's suffrage movement gave women the right to vote and run for office. This first picture is a woman holding a baby that she conceived, and if women bring all voters into the world, just let the women vote. There was a problem in the United States for women to be recognized. The organization National American Women's Suffrage Association fought for the rights of women and the political scene of all American ideals to help women be recognized. According to the women's suffrage leaders, advancing a daring constitutional argument claimed that because women had been made national citizens by the 14th Amendment, they had already possessed the franchise, which was the defining right of citizenship, quoted by Paul S. Boyer. They say that women already had the right of citizenship in the 14th Amendment, but their voting rights were being denied because women were recognized for not having full citizenship. This is important because it emphasizes the American ideals of having U.S. citizenship and being denied all the rights that come from having citizenship. After 30 years, the American Women's Suffrage Association and the Women's Suffrage Association merged to become the National American Women's Suffrage Association, quoted by Carolyn Bridgman and Amna Lee Mills. The merging of these associations helped strengthen their pursuit to give women the right to vote. By 1890, women's suffrage, originally a radical demand among a small group of reformers, had gained respectability among middle-class American women, quoted by Paul S. Boyer. Middle-class women were finally getting respected by a small group of reformers because the upper-class women already had their respect. At this point, suffrage strategy shifted back to amending the federal constitution. In this picture, it shows several women who think it's wrong to not give something to them because of their sex. It says, "No self-respecting women should wish or work for the success of a party that ignores their sex. Everyone is equal, so if men have the right to vote, why can't women?" The Congress passed the 19th Amendment in 1919. According to Congress, the right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex, quoted by Bridgman and Mills. This amendment says that all citizens of the United States have all rights to vote without discriminating against sex. This gives women the right to have a say in how a government is ran and also lets the women run for office. This picture of the United States shows the differences between the 19th Amendment and what happened with the passage of the 19th Amendment. At the passage of the amendment, lawyer Crystal Eastman declared, "What we must do is to create conditions of outward freedom in which a free woman's soul can be born and grow. We have to view all the women the same, no matter how different they are. Women that had free souls were able to express their feelings and grow to become better." In 1920, the transformation of World War I finally led to the passage and ratification of the 19th Amendment to the Constitution, quoted by Boyer. During the war, women had to work to support the war efforts. Society as a whole recognized the value women contributed in places that they hadn't been before. This softened the resistance against women. The end result of the constitutional amendment gained support for men, politicians, and especially women. As many organizations were formed to give women the right to vote, it was years later that they actually succeeded in having states that allowed women to have full voting rights. According to the National American Women's Suffrage Association, after the United States entered World War I in 1917, leaders of the movement, among with millions of women, lent strong support to the war effort. Their patriotism helped weaken opposition to women's suffrage, quoted by Boyer and Stuckey. This is saying that many people were very supportive to the war, but in result, their allegiance weakened competition to women's suffrage. This is important because anyone can give strong support to the war, no matter what situation they may be in or what the outcome of them supporting will be. With Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton, the National Women's Suffrage Association was formed in 1869. This association had a goal of adding an amendment to the Constitution which would give all women the right to vote, quoted by Bridgman and Mills. This is important because women wanted the right to vote and wanted to have a say in how they ran the government. The American Women's Suffrage Association was organized by Lucy Stone and Henry Blackwell that was formed in 1869. This group worked on separate referenda campaigns in each state to get the right to vote and did not get involved in other women's issues, quoted by Bridgman and Mills. It's important because they got each state to participate, and eventually all the states in the United States had the right to vote, men and women, without getting involved in anything else. Women's suffrage was finally achieved in 1920. Women finally achieved the right to vote and run for office. This is a picture that shows several women celebrating the passage of the 19th Amendment that gave women the right to vote. Without the people that helped the women's suffrage movement to be accomplished, women probably still wouldn't be able to vote today. There would be more challenges in the process of gaining women the right to vote and run for office. In result, the United States would not be a very welcoming place because all the women would be upset over not having the right to vote. Now that all women have the right to vote and run for office because of the women's suffrage movement, our founding fathers say, "We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men and women are created equal." Now women have their own say in how they want their government ran and what changes they would like to make things better. Giving the right to vote to women was a good idea because all men and women should be created equal no matter what race, color, religion, or background they may have.